Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Shulchan Aruch Yomi. Today we have the opportunity, and it's his class. We have the opportunity to learn Siman Yadalid number 14. If you consider it to be a schus, it's a schus. Consider it to be a chova, it's a chova. Who says a schus is now something good? I mean, in Israel, schus means a credit. Chova means a debit when you go to the bank. So it's credit cards, you know. When you get credit in this world, they credit your account, use a credit card, you have to pay it back. Maybe not everything should be a schus. It's better if it's a chova as a debit. But guess what? You can learn with me. It's a chova. It's an obligation to learn with me. You need a debit. I'll give you a debit card. You use your debit card. And you want it to pay it back. And get the real stuff. Let's get started. Sif Aleph. Tzitzis Shasan, we're talking about tzitzis that were made by a non-Jew and made by women, and also a talis shula, borrowing someone's tzitzis. Can you borrow someone's tzitzis? Can you take someone's tzitzis without asking? This is going to be the subject of Ian of Shulchan Aruch. It's fascinating halacha and fascinating Ian onto what really should the halacha be. Aleph, tzitzis Shasan and a Yehudi pasul. Tzitzis that were made by a non-Jew are pasul, right? If Frank the guy makes tzitzis, he has a tzitzis shop, he wants to make tzitzis, it's not kosher to speak to Bnei Yisrael. Only Bnei Yisrael can make tzitzis. Lafuki and Yehudi. This is what I believe the Gemara says. Aisha kshera so the Shulchan Aruch passing the woman who makes tzitzis, it is absolutely 100% kosher because it only excludes a goy. It would exclude a woman. It would exclude a woman. Now, the word Bnei Yisrael really only applies to men. Bnei Yisrael are all Shishim Ribo, 600,000 men between the ages of 20 and 60. We do not include the count of women in that because only, as I've explained in the Shirim on Shulchan Aruch on Daf Yomi, only Yisrael, only Kedushas Yisrael is by men. There's no such thing as Kedushas Yisrael by a woman. Technically, a woman can't get an aliyah. There's no such thing as the Israelis, in my opinion. Bnei Yisrael, it should exclude women, but it doesn't. The Shulchan Aruch says, the Ramah says there is an opinion that says that women are pasul for making tzitzis. And it's good to be choshesh for that. Mikar adin, you could rely on a woman that made tzitzis. The Evid, Mikar adin, you could rely on them. L'chadchila, we say it's better not to rely on a woman making the tzitzis. I would say the reason is because craftsmanship. I don't know. Men are better professionals in a lot of things, not in everything. Mentioned that the corners of the tzitzis have to be made with precision, real precision. Shua tavi v'nuz. If you want it to be made real precision, men are better at being precise than women. Not women maybe better at making fabrics than men, but more precision, more by men. The reason to exclude women, but Mikar then we pass and it's okay by women. Let's say a man put the tzitzis on. He made the beged. He put the tzitzis on when he didn't have kavanah for the mitzvah of tzitzis. If you have no other tzitzis around, you could rely on these tzitzis. The Rambam is the opinion that you don't have to be tolel lishma. Now the Rambam seemingly says other places that you need teviyah lishma. The thread has to be spun lishma for the Mishnah mitzvah tzitzis. Based on a Gemara in Sukkah on Daf Tet, the Rambam says that you don't need other things lishma, chizor and things like that. But teviyah, the Rambam passes like Shmuel. Seemingly the Rambam, I haven't checked this Rambam up. He paskins, even though he has different pshat, the other things in the Gemara, whether you need coats in, he says v'shum bizoy mitzvah, the other things in the Gemara, whatever that Gemara is referring to. He seems to indicate you do need teviyah lishma, like Shmuel. It has to be tavel lishma. It has to be woven lishma. It doesn't have to be. It has to be spun lishma. It doesn't have to be woven lishma. Everyone seems to agree that you have to told the tzitzis, but the Rambam says you don't have to. The Rambam says you don't have to have the right kavanah being told the tzitzis. Avolo Yivarach of the Shulchan says because the majority opinion is that you have to be told, and that's everyone agrees you have to be told of the Shema. That's what Rashi learns in the Gemara. You have to be told of the Shema. Machlokes Rav and Shmuel, you have to be spin the thread of the Shema. Everyone agrees you have to be told of the Shema according to Rashi and other Parshim in the Gemara over there. So therefore, the majority opinion is you have to. You rely on the Rambam if there's no other tzitzis to wear them. You don't have to take them off, but you shouldn't make a bracha on the tzitzis because it's safek brachas lahakel. Right, making a bracha levatala is against the right, so we'll have to discuss why it's against the right some other time. Gimel hashol mechavero talis she'ena mitzviyah says pater melahadu b'tzitzis kol shloshim yom. Someone borrows from his friend a beged, tzitzis that doesn't have tzitzis on it. You borrow the beged from it, it has four corners. You wear the beged for 30 days without putting on tzitzis. Tichsiv ksuscha v'lo shel acherim. So gedilim tasalach abrakan ksuscha your ksus has to belong to you. V'lo shel acherim, it belongs to somebody else. There's no mitzvah to put tzitzis on it. The Gemara seems to indicate that it is Chaim after 30 days. If you've been borrowing it for 31 days, you already have to put tzitzis on it. Why? It's still not yours. It doesn't become yours after 30 days, seemingly. What Tosfos explains it over there in the Gemara Menachos on Mem Dalid is because it looks like it belongs to you, just like if you rent a house for 30 days in Chutz La'aretz, you don't have to put mezuzah on it because it's not yours. Once 30 days pass, it looks like it does belong to you, so you have to put on a mezuzah. Same thing over here by tzitzis. It looks like it belongs to you, so you have to put on midrabanan, put on tzitzis. Hagad, the Ramah says, if you borrowed it for 15 days, returned it, and then borrowed it for another 30 days, it doesn't add up. 15 plus 30 is not 45, it's 15 and 30 by itself, and you not be had to put tzitzis unless you had 31 days in a row you borrowed it. Sheila she mitzuyetzes v'varach alayad. The Shulchan is an interesting halacha that if you borrow a tzitzis, normally tzitzis has tzitzis on it, has the strings on it. If you borrow with the strings, you have to v'varach alayad. You have to make a bracha right away. That's based on the Rush. The Rush says that the Gemara, when it says ksuscha, is only talking about when you borrow the beged, but when you borrow a tzitzis, a person gave it to you, matanal menasa hachzir. He gave it to you, and he wanted you to make a bracha because it's based on the next halacha we're going to see in Dalid. The Gemara says in Psachim, nichalei la'inish da'eved mitzvah amone. People want other people to do mitzvahs with their own money. It's a little questionable. The source of that in the Gemara, the source is the Gemara in Psachim. What does that mean? Hard to understand. But anyway, the Rush understands for sure. If someone's lending you tzitzis, they want you to make a bracha on it. They're giving it to you. They're giving it to you that it's a present that belongs to you right now on the condition that you return it. So therefore, during that 30-day period, you owned it. You just have to return it. So therefore, it's considered to be yours. As ksuscha, you make a bracha. Dalid mutter litol talis chaver l'orach. Even if the guy's not around, you come to shul, you don't have a talis. You can just take someone else's talis. You have to actually go and fold it afterwards. If you found it folded, because we assume that the person likes to get it back the way you took it from him. He doesn't like to leave his talis folded in his bag and you just took it and threw it on the floor or threw it on the chair. He's not going to be happy about that. Now, if you did not return it in mikupelis, it seems to be from the poskim that you were still, even though the reason you're allowed to take it is because the Gemara says in a place, we assume people want other people to do mitzvahs with their money. So therefore, it's not stealing it from him. It's matana masahachzir. It's like he gave it to you. It's like he gave you permission to use it. It's a matana masahachzir, but you have to give it back the way that you got it. Now, if you don't leave it not folded, I think the post can say that's still considered matana masahachzir. You didn't steal it from the guy, even though he really wanted folded. He's not makbid that it has to be folded. If you know the guy's a really, really neat guy, only when he's folded, maybe it wouldn't be considered matana masahachzir. You're considered stealing it, and your bracha would be levatala, and you'd be a gazlan. The same thing applies by tefillin. Same thing by tefillin. You're allowed to take someone else's tefillin and wear them. Shulchan says very interestingly, you can't go to someone's safe and base medrash and take it, even if the guy didn't write asur bli rishus or asur litol saram shali. Or Chayiv Misa, if you take my Sefer Sholi. Even if he doesn't write Chayiv Misa, he just writes his name in there. He doesn't write his name, you know it belongs to somebody else. You can't take it because of word. He doesn't want to give it to you. Normally, I want people to do mitzvahs with my money. my property, not when it's going to be ripped. Now it's going to be ruined. Tefillin don't get ruined. This towel's not going to get ruined by using it. Sefer might get ruined. Doesn't want you to use it. So that's halacha. Ramach says very clearly, if you go into a base medrash and you think you want to borrow someone ArtScroll Gemara, don't take it. You're not allowed to. Here, it's really the halacha, because we're going to see based on the Ian Shulchan Aruch that there's a different reason why you can't take it. Even if there's no chash, you're going to rip it. They have laminated pages. It's very hard to rip the pages. You still shouldn't take it. Hey, talis shel shutfin chayav besitzis techsil al kanfei b'ideihem. If the talis belongs to two people, not just one person, the Gemara in Chulin, at the end of Chulin, explicitly says a kanfei b'ideihem, plural. Why kanfei b'ideihem? That even if it doesn't just belong to you, ksuscha comes to tell me if it doesn't belong to you at all, but if it belongs to you partially, 50% belongs to you, it's considered your beged, and you'd be chayiv to put on tzitzis, and you would make a bracha when you wore those tzitzis. Stay tuned for Ian Shulchan Aruch. We discussed this concept of nichalei leinas eved mitzvah mamone. People want you to do mitzvahs with their money. You can just take people's stuff. Is this so pashut? Have a listen. Bye.